The Minnesota Timberwolves are looking to improve upon a dismal 2019 to 2020 season in which they recorded only 19 wins. They laid the groundwork for success at the trade deadline last season, making a trade with the Warriors for D'Angelo Russell. In that trade, they finally moved on from the failed Andrew Wiggins experiment. The Wolves hope Russell can be the second star alongside Karl Anthony Towns. Russell and Towns only got to play alongside each other for one game last season because of a left wrist injury sustained by Towns. In the 12 games Russell played for Minnesota last year, he averaged 21.7 points and 6 assists while shooting 41% from the field and 34% from threes. If he continues to be a 20-plus points per game scorer, a feat that he has accomplished in his past 3 seasons, he will be a fringe all-star caliber player for years to come. In another trade deadline trade, the Wolves acquired shooting guard Malik Beasley from the Nuggets. Beasley made an instant impact, scoring 20.7 points per game in 14 games with the Wolves. He had only been averaging 7.9 points per game when he was in Denver. His stellar performance landed him a 4-year, $60 million contract with a team option in year 4. Malik looks to be part of the Wolves' long-term plan. Then in the draft lottery, the Wolves were awarded the first pick of the draft for only the second time in franchise history. With this pick, they drafted Anthony Edwards from Georgia. During his one season with a subpar Georgia team, Edwards averaged 19.1 points per game while shooting 40% from the field and 29% from 3. Expect those shooting numbers to improve with the Wolves though. At Georgia, he played with lesser talent, so he often had to throw up low percentage shots late in the shot clock. That should not be a problem with the Wolves, where he will be able to take higher percentage shots. Expect Edwards to play the 2 while they move Beasley to the 3. The Wolves were not done making moves on draft night, trading their 17th pick for the 25th and 28th pick in the draft and fan favorite Ricky Rubio. Rubio was drafted by Minnesota and spent his first 6 seasons of his career with the Wolves. He was very efficient with the Jazz and Suns and should fill the role of 6th man on this team. I would expect Coach Ryan Saunders to play Rubio alongside starting point guard Russell often. After acquiring Rubio, they used their 25th and 33rd pick to move up to the 23rd pick to take Leandro Bolmaro. Bolmaro is a guard that will not factor into this season because he is still signed to a contract with his team overseas, but look for him to be a factor in seasons to come. With the 28th pick in the draft, the Wolves took forward Jaden McDaniels from Washington. I don't see McDaniels having a huge impact this season, but could fulfill the role of backup forward in the future, although I could see him getting a couple minutes sprinkled in. The Wolves then made trades for Rondae Hollins-Jefferson and Ed Davis. Davis will fill a much-needed void with some low-post defense and will be the second center off the bench behind Naz Reid. Hollis-Jefferson will give the Wolves some depth at power forward and will split time with Jake Layman, although I assume Layman will get more of the minutes off the bench. The Wolves will be looking for a much better season from last year's first-round pick Jarrett Culver. Although he had some highlight dunks, he really didn't perform at the level the team had hoped. He shot only 40% from the field and 29% from 3. He will need to improve, or he might find himself being traded at the trade deadline. Josh Okogie continued to play solid defense for the Wolves last season and could provide occasional scoring. I think he should continue to improve, but I don't think his ceiling is super high, and I think the second guy off the bench is a perfect spot for him. This is how I see the lineup shaking up, at least to start the season, and I think the Wolves are in a much better spot than they were going into last season. It will really depend on how well the Wolves play defense and hit the three-pointer. Last season, the Wolves were 3rd to last in three-point percentage and 28th in points allowed. It will be interesting to see if Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell go the extra mile to improve their defensive game, something that they have struggled with in past seasons. If they can strive to be two-way players, it will drastically help the team's chances of making the playoffs for only the second time since 2004. We will also need to see the progression of Anthony Edwards and Jarrett Culver to see if they will pan out to be worth high first-round selections. Also, the Wolves will need a lot out of Malik Beasley. He will need to prove that his 20 points per game in Minnesota wasn't a fluke and rather a sustainable number. The West is very difficult this season, but I would say the Wolves' ceiling is the 6th seed in the West, and the floor is probably the 14th seed. I don't see them being worse than the rebuilding Thunder if worse comes to worse. My prediction, though, is that the Wolves will be the 8th seed in the West and finish with a 38-34 record. Well, that's the episode, guys. Let me know your thoughts about the Wolves in the comments below, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and most importantly, go Wolves.